It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Sunday, the 9th of November. I'm Michael Groff. A very warm day ahead. Temperatures not only above average, but we could be flirting with record highs here in the valley today, up around 90 degrees. Elsewhere, even where there aren't record highs, afternoon temperatures anywhere from 3 to 10 degrees above seasonal averages. We'll continue with above average temps for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even into Thursday. An increase in clouds will take place through this upcoming week, but by the end of the week and this weekend, it is looking more and more likely that we will see a major change in the overall weather pattern. We'll turn colder, unsettled, chances of higher elevation snow, valley rain. Yeah, how long will all of that last? Yes, we still have a lot of finer details to figure out with this forecast: where, when, how much precipitation, how cold it gets, how long it lasts. All of that we'll talk about as we dive on in and discuss. First, let's take a look at that almanac from yesterday. 86 degrees, the afternoon high here in Phoenix after a morning low of 61. 80 and 57 are the averages for this time of year. There's that record high of 91 degrees. Today's record high, by the way, is 88, and that's why there's a pretty good chance we could at least tie, if not break that. Taking a look outside right now here at 6:40 a.m. We've got clear sky across the valley, the sun preparing to rise. We're sitting at 63 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew points at 39, relative humidity 42%. The winds are light and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the west. And it's really the same old story. A few high clouds came through yesterday, but other than that, it is quiet. High pressure is in control. Those upper heights about 588 decameters, and with plenty of sun and with dry air, you bet we're going to be warming up this afternoon, and those desert high temperatures could exceed 90 degrees. We'll be well up in the 60s and 70s for the high country as well. Certainly going to feel more like mid-October as opposed to early to mid-November. Here's the watch warning map. Now, one place it definitely feels like November, maybe even early December, is over parts of the southern plains and the southeast U.S. We've talked about this for a few days now. An Arctic front has descended south, and we have freeze warnings in effect from Oklahoma City to Tulsa, Little Rock, Houston, San Antonio, Lake Charles, Shreveport, over toward Birmingham. And so it's chilly all the way down into the deep south, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Temperatures will be down in the 30s with this front dipping south, and over afternoon high temperatures across the southeast U.S. in the 40s. Going to be a major pattern change there. But out here in the west, of course, it's all very quiet right now. The convective outlook for today, with that front pushing to the south and east, we do have a marginal risk of severe storms, level 1 out of 5, from around Tampa Bay up toward Orlando, Jacksonville, Savannah, and up toward Myrtle Beach and Wilmington, North Carolina. The tropics and the Atlantic Basin, quiet. I mean, dead quiet. Right now, we don't anticipate any tropical development for the next couple of days or the next 7 days, and that's true for the East Pacific as well. Can't quite say the season is over, but it's getting pretty close. Hurricane season runs through the end of November, and we don't see any major signs of anything picking up out here. But of course, we're going to keep an eye on things. You just never know. Weather is weird like that. Precipitation outlook, this is valid through next Sunday morning from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix have really jumped up here now, between 1/2 and 1 inch. And we could see over 2 inches of rain for parts of the Rim Country. Now, of course, still pretty dry across far southwest Arizona. I know for our viewers down in Yuma, you'll be lucky to get anything out of this change in the weather pattern, but we'll see. There's certainly a lot of question marks still to be answered with this, and we're going to try and figure that out right now to the best of our ability as we check the model, see what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS. It is the 06Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. What you're looking at here is the upper look at 500 millibars. That's about 18,000 feet. Big cold upper trough in the east. The Arctic Express is turned on here, and that cold air is plunged all the way down to the Gulf Coast. And so well below average temperatures there. But out here in the west, look at that 588 ridge, a pretty high amplitude pattern right now. And so as a result, down at the surface for the rest of the day today, sunny and very warm. High temperatures anywhere from about 86 to 90 in Phoenix. Some of the hottest desert spots will be in the low 90s today. Down toward the greater Ajo AZ Metroplex and into parts of Southeast California, the Imperial Valley. It's going to be warm, even up in the high country, 60s and 70s, and that's above average. The average high in Flagstaff for today, for example, is in the mid-50s, and they should be up in the, I'd say, low to mid-60s there today. So certainly above average, but still just beautiful. For tonight, the sky's clear with dry air. Lows will be in the 50s in the cool spots, low 60s in the urban core. Tomorrow, sunny and pretty much the same story. We'll take a degree or two off those afternoon highs, generally holding in the mid to upper 80s in Phoenix. Again, around 90, though, for the warmest desert spots. Tuesday, Veterans Day, we'll start to see a few clouds creeping in. We'll call it partly sunny, actually, here in Phoenix. A lot of high clouds, not going to produce any precipitation, but still an increase in clouds here across much of the state. High temperatures will still be above average. We should top out in the mid-80s, upper 80s for the warmest desert spots. And again, 60s and 70s up in the high country, depending on where you are. Wednesday, same story, partly cloudy, high temperatures mainly in the mid-80s, and more or less the same situation on Thursday, highs in the mid-80s, the sky sunny, the air dry, and no real change, but you do see that trough is approaching us from the west. And as we get late into Thursday and into Friday, the timing, at least according to the GFS, is that this trough will be coming on in at that point. We'll start to see an increasing chance of showers here in the deserts and some snow for the high country. Now, this run of the GFS is not very bullish on precipitation across our area. Only shows some widely scattered showers and slightly better concentration of rain and snow across northern Arizona. But I will say that the preponderance of guidance would suggest that this run of the GFS is a clear outlier and that we will see at least a decent shot at precipitation. Right now, we've got the rain chances in Phoenix in about the 40 to 50% bracket for Friday. It should be a mostly cloudy day. It will turn cooler. Highs should only top out in the low to mid 70s in the day on Friday. And yeah, that's going to feel quite a bit more chilly relative to where we've been. We haven't really had a good blast of cool fall air yet. We've had some cool downs, but nothing like this. And if you think that's impressive, wait till we get to Saturday. We'll continue with a chance at showers on Saturday with high temperatures only in the mid to upper 60s in Phoenix. Obviously, much cooler up in the high country where we'll see some rain and snow continuing up there. And we're going to be entering into a cool and unsettled weather pattern at this point. And even though the GFS doesn't really depict it all that well, again, it's kind of an outlier here, but let's keep going anyway. This is a week from today, Sunday, the 16th. And it's got another trough lining up over the Pacific Northwest. The flow aloft here would be relatively zonal. And so we'd have clouds around. Temperatures would be at or just maybe slightly below average if that works out. This is Monday the 17th, and the GFS drops this next trough in here, and it's a colder system. And you can see these systems are now plunging much further southward due to some stronger energy upstream that's just driving these systems southward. So as a result, we'll probably see another round of precipitation by Monday the 17th. This is the end of the forecast period, Tuesday the 18th. And if this is right, the GFS suggests cooler, unsettled. Highs would probably be in the 60s, lows in the 40s, and low 50s around here if this verifies. And again, chances at rain and snow in the high country. Now let's look at the European AI at the same time. Again, end of the forecast period, Tuesday the 18th. And this has a pretty impressive trough. It actually shows two very impressive distinct systems coming through. One, Thursday night, Friday into Friday night with a pretty good concentration of rain and snow. And then this next system that comes in early that following week, Sunday the 16th, Monday the 17th, Tuesday the 18th, and another round of fairly impressive widespread precipitation across the area and temperatures well below average. And I'm just fine with that. All right. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble. Look, the mean keeps coming up here. Again, between 1/2 and 1 inch. And, most of these ensemble members, there's 31 members in this ensemble, indicate a decent amount of precipitation. The European, again, this keeps trending up toward 1 inch. The European AI, oh my goodness. The Euro AI, which I will say has, again, been the most reliable model and the most reliable ensemble, and that's the approach we like to take when we're talking about forecasting in the medium range. It has been the most reliable ensemble for months. That said, it is depicting some pretty crazy numbers here that I'm not sure I buy into just yet, but it's got the ensemble mean here in Phoenix between now and the 23rd of the month at almost 1 3/4 inches, and you've got individual members in this 51-member ensemble that are up at 3 and 4 inches of rain. Now, remember, the last time we saw numbers like this was at the end of September and then in early October with a couple of very impressive systems, and obviously the remnants of Priscilla and Raymond that came through here. And yeah, that was pretty impressive, but the Euro AI really nailed those totals. Not saying that's going to happen here, but I just want to give you context. And, why do you show this stuff, Mike? Well, we show it because we show you all the data that we have here. We like you to be as informed as possible. This isn't an official prediction. I'm not saying we're going to get, 1 3/4 inches of rain over the next couple of weeks. I'm just saying this is what the Euro AI has cooked up right now. And hey, it has done a very good job so far. Temperatures off the national blend of models. Yeah, of course, above average today, tomorrow, all the way through Thursday and into Friday. The next weekend, it's got highs in the 70s and dipping ultimately into the 60s. And that's well in line with what this pattern would likely do for us. In fact, it is possible that in a day or two, we could see high temperatures even lower than that if we get a decent amount of precipitation around here, depending on how all of that plays out. All right, let's look at the CPC outlook for the period November 16th through the 22nd. Temperatures, well, above average for most of the central and eastern part of the country, but out here in the west, you can see that tilt toward below average temperatures. The probability is skewing toward below average for a good portion of Arizona and California and Nevada. And so that's awesome. We like to see that. But even better, precipitation. We are heavily skewed probability-wise toward above average precipitation during this period. And again, we have been talking about this for weeks. It's just this tease that's been going on and on. People are like, is this actually going to happen? Mike, you've been talking about this since the end of October. And yes, it does appear that this is coming to fruition. Now, exactly how it comes to fruition, exactly the details on that, we still don't know yet. But we will have some idea as we get closer to the event. All right, well, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. And should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you're really enjoying what we do here, you want to support the channel, well, by all means, you can do so by clicking that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make a contribution to us that way. Or via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is our PayPal address. It's GROFF show@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is also linked up down in the description below, so be sure to take advantage of that. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, Kylie related, Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description below. Our streaming station is linked up in the description below as well, but we're having technical difficulties with that right now, so we'll let you know when that's back online. Also want you to check out Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. The Courtroom Files on YouTube, courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. Why you should check out that channel? Amazing channel. Lots of content, great stuff over there. A lot different from what we do, but that's really why you should check that out. I'm not going to, have you check out another weather channel. That would just be kind of counterintuitive, don't you think? Besides, if you're here, you've obviously checked out those other guys and you've decided to come here, and that's what matters to me. But anyway, the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, check them out. Dan will be back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. East, 7 a.m. Pacific for the Courtroom Files Live. And then we'll have Sidebar this week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. Pacific, and all that other stuff that we do over there at TCF. Dan runs an amazing channel, and I highly encourage you to go check that out. And of course, it is permalinked in the description below. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. It's amazing. It is so greatly appreciated. Please, though, I do want you to, because it is still quite warm out there and with near record heat expected today. Yeah, stay cool, stay hydrated. Have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Sunday.